Hey there, YouTubes. This is Grimweird coming back at you with more Project Ozone 3 Kappa mode playthrough action for Minecraft 1.12.2. When last I left you, I had just broken into the hunting dimension for a dirt raid, and that was very successful. I also needed to figure out what to do with my animals, so I decided to kill off the liquid chocolate and the bio-crude cows because I didn't think I needed either of those liquids right at the moment. I kept the naphtha one, and I did manage to get 19 buckets of naphtha out of them. Um, and then also, once I had like a chicken and I got a second chicken and I had 3 cows here, or a couple cows here, vanilla and naphtha, um, further animals sort of stopped spawning here, probably because there was too many animals here. So I decided to run out here and create sort of another breeding pasture. So I created another platform off past my thing here, and this is basically just a chunk of grass. And I did get some things growing in here. I got another cow that I didn't want. I got a molten Constantan cow, and a donkey, and that's where I got the second chicken. And you may be asking yourself, okay, great, where are these cows that you got? Well, I managed to get about 3 blocks worth of molten Constantan out of the Constantan cow. But on the third block, he was like up against the fence, and I right clicked him and got the bucket, and yet somehow managed to double clutch on the click, and then I clicked the molten Constantan down on the fence, which of course spilled out all over the place, lighting myself and my cows on fire. The cows didn't make it. I fortunately did. Once I got out of the thing here, I just ran over here. Since I had a bucket in my hand, I ran over here, grabbed a bucket of water, splashed it at my feet to put myself out. So that was sort of embarrassing. Took some armor damage. But at least I didn't kill myself. So that's an important safety tip for me who is new with move fluids. Be careful how you click when dealing with potentially molten metal in your bucket. Anyway, so now we have an ability. Oh, hey, here come a bunch of cows right on cue. It's as if they knew I was filming. Let's go see what we got. I also ran out there and lit up the slime island just to sort of make sure I didn't have unnecessary competition. Liquid nitrogen ice. Molten enderium, yes please. Molten lumium, yes please. That brings me to one of the first things we're going to do here. I'm going to pick up that molten enderium guy right now because I am happy to have him. Come back here, buddy. But that does bring me to the first thing I want to do here, which I could make some golden lassos for transporting things around, but they are 8 experience levels each. I did go back to the hunting dimension. I got us a little bit of dirt, as in 14,000 dirt. So, yay. And more importantly, I got about 100 levels worth of experience. You can see here I leveled up my backpack, so basically it went from, I think, having 27 slots to getting 4 more slots, or 4 more rows of slots, so another 36 slots with holding 4 on it. I also put holding 4 on this guy, and I think I've got, yeah, that's 60,000. And then I accidentally put holding 3 on the milk one, but I've got 50 barrels or 50 buckets of milk there and 19 buckets of naphtha. I decided to keep the naphtha because as soon as I can get a centrifuge, I can spin that into, I think, refined fuel, which is a very nice fuel source, or I can burn the naphtha right in a combustion generator once I make one of those. So that'll be a nice little jump of power from that. So yeah, what I want to do is I can make some golden lassos, and it's not too hard to get experience now to make golden lassos, but I also sort of wanted to get a second shulker because I wanted to be able to, well, I don't think I can, but I will eventually want to be able to make an advanced big item filter for Ender IO, which requires 2 shulker shells. And I got one off the first shulker I killed, but I wouldn't mind another one. But now I just remembered that I need to make a Z-Logic controller first. Not sure how hard that is. Actually, that might not be. That's actually sort of doable. I gotta look through some of these things to figure out which of the more advanced mods like Ender IO and Mechanism are hard to do and which ones aren't. Some appear to be gated by metals I don't have access to yet, and some are not. But anyway, when I fought the first shulker, I sort of wasn't really thinking. I was just had a vial in my hand and went, if I click this on the ground, will the shulker appear? And I sort of thought the answer was no. I thought you could only use it in the powered Ender IO spawners, but the answer was yes. And so suddenly I had a shulker in front of me, and of course it hit me with one of its missiles, which put levitate on me, and I started to float away. Fortunately, I had my slime boots on and was able to steer myself away from him and then land safely, which reminds me I might want to just put that on. But this time I built myself a little hut here, so that if he does anything to me, I can not float away. Whoops, and that is my cow. This is a shulker. Oh, that's right, they teleport. Oh, and there I go floating again. Okay, glad I put my boots on. I'm gonna have to get him with arrows. See if I can block some of those. Is there another one? Maybe not. I'm used to having creative flight or, some sort of flight when I fight these guys, so this is a little bit exciting. Try and sneak up on him. That's how I killed him last time, was bang. A spirit. I'm not familiar with that. I don't appear to be able to kill it. Probably should have done something with that, but that's new to me. Alright, so anyway, now I have another empty vial here for more stuff, and I got my second shulker shell, so I can make a big item filter as soon as I get to that Ender machine, Ender IO, Z-Logic thing. What was I going to do? I was going to come capture that. There was another cow over here I decided I liked. I'll have to look up the uses on molten lumium. Lumium, I think, is a good thing. I'll have to look up liquid nitrogen ice. That sounds like maybe a galactic craft kind of thing, or extra planets. Uses making florbs. Alright, I'm not seeing anything there that strikes me as super necessary. So I think I'm going to go ahead and come here, cow. Get rid of him and get rid of him, so that more stuff will spawn there. Sounds like a party's happening at the mob spawning house. Hey, chickens. I got enough chickens, thank you. Go away. But we'll get that guy and this guy out. And I think I'm going to hold off on milking them until I clean out my thing. I've got a bunch of like nuggets and millibuckets. I made a dark steel anvil, and it left a bunch of dregs from, because you combine liquefacted coal and molten iron and molten obsidian, and it just left a bunch of garbage in there. So I'm gonna, let's see, I assume there are fluid trash cans in here. Yeah, so I'll make one of these bad boys, not even expensive. And then I will pipe out all the dregs. I'm also going to have to not use the liquid translocators. They're just too much of a pain in the butt, because they break off. The ones that are on the drain fall off every time I log out and back into the game. This guy over here, I put an item translocator here to take all the dirt that we mined in the hunting dimension quickly out of there and into a compacting drawer, and that worked fine and it didn't break. But the liquid ones, the ones that are sitting on the drains, are not happy, so we will have to get rid of those. But I don't think it's actually too hard to just use like another type of conduit there. I'm going to show you real quick what I did in the hunting dimension. Like I said, I got about 100 experience levels, or I don't know, it seemed like that. Quite a bit of hunting experience. I climbed up on the roof. I've resealed it so nothing will spawn in here. And then I also like took out these blocks in a couple of places and made little stepping stones in here so that I could whack things in the head. And I got my mob farming done. So we killed the zombie skeleton creeper and ancient golem. That was not too hard now that we have a little pillbox here to keep us safe. And then, as you can see, this is what 14,000 dirt looks like. And this went very, very quick, and got us vein mining this with a shovel with an osmium handle. So osmium gets you experience when you use the tool, sort of like copper does. So this was able to give me a whole bunch of experience. I did run into a couple of places where there were holes in the grass, but I was able to plug those up pretty quick, and it wasn't a big deal. There's something out here. I'm not exactly sure what it was. So here's my base. There's something right there. I don't know what it is. I'm not familiar with this dimension, but that's why I dug off in this direction. So I dug off underneath that. I don't know. It looked like some sort of building or something. Maybe it's some sort of thing that we could go whoop. But it's not crucial, so I'm not going to do it right now. So that was that. Actually, let's go take a look at that. See, there's a big old building over there with maybe a village on top of it. I don't know what's going on up there. Oh, there's another one over there. I don't know what that stuff is. I am curious. The spider's going to come up after me. But anyway, that is mission accomplished. I got my kill quest done, and I got plenty of dirt, and I got plenty of experience to get some initial enchanting done. I decided not to enchant the Witherbone armor, mostly just because I'm not sure I can repair it other than to make new pieces of Witherbone armor and then combine them on the anvil, which is sort of wasteful. So I think we're just going to wear this until it breaks and then call it good. Let's see. More stuff. I shouldn't have bothered opening that here. Just clutter up my inventory. Man, those demon animals make such a racket. I'm just going to throw this all in here for now and sort it later. Alrighty, so that's what I did here and what I did in the hunting dimension. So the reason, this is actually later the same day of the other recipe. Oh, another thing I did was I went ahead and did a real quick automation. I needed a bunch of obsidian to make dark steel, and I got sick of bucketing it in there. So I took fluid and piped it down to the side of the stone barrel down there, and then took item conduits out a different side, and I pumped out a bunch of obsidian. So now we've got, I think I've got more over in my shelves, so we've got 5+ stacks of obsidian. And then I just turned it off by turning this to active with a signal while I built up more stuff. And we are back up to a full iron drum here of lava. But anyway, let's go to the Nether. That's sort of why I'm going ahead and making this. I wasn't going to make another video until tomorrow, but I am eager to go to the Nether. So I want to show, I'll take you guys with me as I go into it for the first time. I'm not really familiar with NetherEx. I watched a playthrough, so I've seen some people go in there. And I've seen that it's considerably different than the Enigmatica 2 Expert Nether or the vanilla Nether that I was used to playing like 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm a little concerned. But we've got some armor. We've got a lava ring. I've got food. Once again, I sort of like to establish a quick little beachhead in any dimension I go into that's hostile. So we'll bring some stone, make some quick walls around us, so that hopefully we won't be shot or killed or what have you. Let's see. Get this out too. And do I have plenty of arrows? Yes, I have plenty of arrows. Basically, all I want to do for this initial mission here on camera is just to go in there, see what we're up against for a zone in. You know how it can be with the Nether. Sometimes you zone in on a tiny little piece of, tiny little space surrounded by lava lakes or some other kind of craziness. And with NetherEx, sometimes I think there can be pretty nasty monsters there too. So I just sort of want to see what we're up against, and maybe establish a beachhead. And then I'd love to grab a whole ton of netherrack to start sifting. So first and foremost, I want to get some walls up so things don't shoot me or charge me. Something over there, an imp. I'm not sure if those are hostile or not. So far, so good. Oh, there's flying stuff in here, so we'll get a roof on this too, but that at least gets us somewhat protected. All right. We lived. Oh, and there's something making noise. Some sort of critter. What's that? A red mogus? Some sort of little mushroom dude. I like the sound he makes. Hopefully whatever it is can't climb a wall. It has run up to my wall, so it might be hostile. Oh, and gosh, there was something. I don't know what that thing was, but it looked scary. Funny noises. Well, this is probably not exciting for you guys to watch, but alrighty. Yeah, we can go horizontal, speed this up a bit. What the heck was that noise? Alright, I'm going to pretend like we're safe. Ooh, this is sort of this frost burn ice is sort of translucent. You can sort of see stuff under it. There's some ore or something over there. That's interesting. I'm going to try and silk touch some of this, see what happens. Icy NetherEx underneath it. Interesting. Huh. That's sort of an interesting texture, so I'm going to grab a little bit of it here. There are definitely plenty of red dots out there, so there are critters about. soak axe. My soak touch axe is still real slow. Putting a soak touch jewel on it slows it down a lot, and I have not had a chance to speed it up yet. But that's going to change because we're going to vein mine the snot out of this dimension. Alright, so now, let's see. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I got a couple of things that are pretty interested in me. I think that Red Mogus was interested. So I think we're going to try and maybe, until I have a little bit better knowledge about what's going on here, I think we're going to try and keep things a little subterranean. Let's see, so the whole concept of frozen netherrack is a little weird, or icy netherrack. Nether rime ore. It's harvestable. I don't know what it is, but we got some. Ooh, there's something creepy up above us. That's a little worrisome. I think I'm going to go down a little lower. Here's some real netherrack. Good. If we have a little room to dig down here, we'll and can find a little space, we'll gather up a whole bunch of this. And we'll save dealing with the surface for a later time. Because establishing a foothold was one thing I wanted to do. Soulstone, mystical agriculture. I don't know what that is. But yeah, establishing a foothold is accomplished. The next thing we want to do is basically just send up a few thousand netherrack here to my chest back home so that I can sift some of that. Wouldn't mind picking up a little ardite as well. I did put, what have I got on here? Mining level is cobalt, and that is from a fortified with obsidian. So I put an obsidian sharpening kit on this bad boy. So there I've vein mined the soulstone. Vein mined some ardite. Plenty of ardite. It would be excellent to get a little cobalt too, so we can make some manulin. I'd like to upgrade some of my stuff with manulin. What's that? Nether emerald ore. Sure, I'll take that. Where are we? Y81. That's the kind of stuff I might expect to find much deeper in. Keep my path open here. So another thing I like to do is my pickaxes are still pretty damn slow because we're early in the game. But I have a tendency to lose focus and over vein mine. So I like to make sure that I got something else to stand on. So now when I vein mine, I'm not going to kill myself and fall to my death. Here's some ardite, nether inferium. However, I did bust up my stairs, so rebuild those real quick. Can I reach? Yes. So since I'm sort of a spaz and I like to vein mine the snot out of stuff, it's good for me to have a little something solid to stand on while I'm doing it for just such circumstances as this. Alright. Oh, and we have broken through to another area over there. There appears to be some cobalt over there. Go ahead and hit this another time. Excellent. Actually, that icy netherrack up above is nice because we don't break through into the area above us too much, so that's nice. Sort of like the grass blocks in the hunting dimension. Alright, so I'm going to come down here and kill a couple slimes. Continue my staircase. Go peek out here and see what we got going on over here. More nether inferium ore. Wonder what type of tree that is. There's some type of tree that I wanted to get a hold of. I'm not familiar with it, but when I was investigating the hopping bonsai and what it made and what it could do, and looking at various saplings, I noticed that there was a what was it, like a specter tree or something like that. Specter sapling? Yeah, this bad boy. I would love to get one of these. Okay, so it's sort of a light blue, but it drops ectoplasm, and the ectoplasm can make things like a specter illuminator and a specter anchor and some other things. Those look sort of interesting, so I'm going to keep my eye open for that. Heat sand. I think this can be useful for, it wants a shovel, but I think this can be useful for heating things like putting under a crucible or what have you. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And there was apparently a bunch of it. Anyway, let's go peek out here again. Alright, so there's all sorts of stuff going on down there. We've got to be careful not to break through the floor and fall to our deaths. That's usually a bad thing. Mithril. I do not have any mithril. I think this gives you mana infused ores, maybe. And I don't have none of that. So let's go ahead and grab that. Could use some more lead. Could always use some more coal. I'm being a little less cautious than some. I might also normally because I do have a lava ring. So if I spring a lava leak in here, it's not the end of the world. Alrighty. Let's see, what else do we got? Nether iron, all sorts of ores here. That's cool. Although I think you might have to process them. Like you might have to smelt them into vanilla ores and then process those. Not exactly sure. Now, I don't want to bore you guys with me wandering around down here forever, so I'm going to go ahead and just try and quickly grab some more NetherEx here. And then we'll head home, and I'm going to pause and do some sifting and make some anulin. Oh, I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't sure that that other blue thing I did was, a spore creeper. Ah, alrighty. I see you, netherite. Not sure if they have a way up here, but I'm not going to give them a chance. Not sure what your deal is, buddy, but you're out of here. Alright, I'm going to retreat from that situation. Prosperity ore. Yes, please. I don't think I have any prosperity stuff available to me until now, so I'll take a little bit of that. Please and thank you. I don't know what the soulstone is, but might as well clean that up. Oh, and that means that my the fact that this did not teleport to my storage back home means that it is full, which I was about expecting. So let's go ahead and call that our successful first Nether adventure. Go up here and just make sure that everything is kosher up here before I leave. Everything looks good. Now, I don't know if some of these new fancy NetherEx monsters will spawn in here. I don't know if it's better or worse to have light in here. Don't know if that will help me out or if it will draw the attention of monsters. I'm just going to go ahead and throw some light in here anyway. And let's go ahead and zone back out. Now I did go ahead and make the nether cake and the overworld cake, which was necessary to complete the thing, but I'm not going to use it, and so I just threw it in the old shelving system for now. I'm not exactly sure. I guess those are just alternate ways to get to and from, but I don't think I need it. I have perfectly good portals there. So yeah, let's go check out our box here. So we got a few things. I think I had most of the stuff ready. I knew I was going to need another compacting drawer. So I think I have most of the stuff ready for that. Let us see. Because we want a compacting drawer for NetherEx. And probably another one for soulstone and another one for soul sand and yada yada yada. But let's take it one step at a time here. First we need NetherEx. So I do have enough for another infinity block. So the nice thing was, now that I have the hunting dimension open, and you saw how much bedrock I exposed by basically stealing all their dirt, so I burned through a couple flint steels, and I was able to just click everywhere and do dozens of bedrock at a time over in the hunting dimension. So I got enough for 3 blocks of infinity, that are necessary for the compacting drawers. Pistons. I think I'm going to have to make up some more of the electrotine or red ally ingots. So I'll work on that off screen. You guys don't need to watch me do a bunch of crafting. But basically that's a major success. We got a whole bunch of stuff here. Let's take a look at the cobalt and the ardite uses. So I can smelt them straight into 2 ingots, presumably, with my ore doubling furnace. And that appears to be about that. I need to look at some of this other stuff, figure out what we're doing here. What about some of the other junk? Emeralds. Alright, this is like that other stuff I was thinking of where you cook it once to get a couple vanilla ores, and then you can break those however you want to break them. Let's go ahead and throw those in the furnace. I was surprised to see, so okay, this ore processing upgrade enables the processing of ores, yada yada, which then essentially doubles ores and a few other items and blocks. So I wasn't sure what it meant by a few other items and blocks, but there were some cool things. I think cobblestone turns into 2 cooked stone when you put it through here, so that's sort of nice. And there was something else. Can't remember if it was terracotta or something else, but there were a few other things. So it wouldn't break my heart if this actually doubled this, which it did. So our two nether emeralds turned into 8 emerald ore. I'm going to go ahead and save those until I get some looting on my pickaxe, because we should have... Oh, we got 2 modifiers. That is going to be able to... Oh, I can make it unbreakable now. Sweet. That's what I wanted. Unbreakable pickaxe. Good to go. Do I have the stuff to do that right now? I think I need to make more casting plates or more casts. Yeah, I'll need to make some more casts. So I'll do that off camera, but that's excellent. So that's going to put that from reinforced 3 up to reinforced 5 and make that unbreakable. And then once it's unbreakable, I'll go back there and I'll just rip the nether up. We'll just vein mine the snot out of that place and get a bunch of experience and also level up this pickaxe a lot. Then we can put the next 3 modifiers will all be for looting or fortune or luck or whatever you call it. And this guy, I'll need to do some more vein mining with it to get it up. It's currently only reinforced 2, so I need to pay attention to it a bit. The slime shovel is already unbreakable. The emerald broadsword's reinforced 3, and does have a modifier to spare. So I'll make up a bunch of those. Those are just obsidian, which I have a bunch of, and then you can make the aluminum brass casting plates, so you can just use this kind of stuff. So I'll just smelt up some of that and make a bunch. So let's see. I think for right now, let's check on our guys here. Oh, I still don't necessarily want to do this because I still have a mess of little dregs in my smeltery. Let's go ahead and pause here. I'll take a look at the runtime and see where we're at. And then probably off camera I will smelt up some of the, or I should say sieve some of the netherrack. I'll reinforce my tools more and make them unbreakable. Once my pickaxe is unbreakable, I'll probably swap out its slime head with probably like a cobalt head, pickaxe head. Do a few things like that. I'll make some electrotine so that I can make a couple pistons, and we'll make a NetherEx compacting drawer. What are the uses on this stuff? Soulstone. You can make brown rocks and stuff. You can smelt it to get it smooth again. Wow. Okay, well, I don't think I want brown stuff for decorating, so I think that's going in the dumpster. And voila. Trash, 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 trash. Tragedy, trash, trash. What else did I get? Nether rime crystal. What's that do? I'm going to be saying that a lot. Rime and steel. Huh. Some more interesting looking block. We'll eventually need it for a mob duplicator. Boy, look at that recipe for a mob duplicator. That looks like a beast. I have no idea. I've never done Erebus. I've never done a lot of this stuff. Abyssal Craft I've never done. So I'm not familiar with NetherEx. So I'm not sure how hard some of this stuff is going to be to get. But yeah, we definitely need some of those nether rime crystals, so I'll hold on to those. Do we get anything else interesting here? Some zirconium dust. I'm not sure where that came from, but happy to have it. Some prosperity shards, our heat sand. I wonder if that is hotter than our blaze mesh. Let's check it out. So we are at 30x with the blaze mesh. And the heat sand is 120x. Well, yes, that is warmer. And I get my blaze mesh back, so yay us. So my lava is full. I'm going to go ahead and turn this back on because I'm going to end up using, let's see, I need to make several reinforcement plates. So I'm going to use basically a stack of this or so. So I'm going to turn this on a bit more just to replace that with a better looking block. I'm going to turn this back on. Make a couple more stacks of obsidian. That's pretty cool, watching it fill up under the water. And it's pretty quick. And it is not taking the lava down very fast. So that is cool. Alright, I probably don't need to make a ton of this stuff. I was just sort of curious to see how it went. Alright, so I'm going to pause here. I'm going to do some things, sift some netherrack and make some reinforcements and make a compacting drawer and yada yada yada. And I will be back and we'll see what's going on. Maybe we'll get some more moo fluid cows over in our breeding pasture. I'll clean out my smeltery so we can start pumping out some molten enderium. I think molten enderium is something I'm going to want lots of. I don't suppose this has advanced generators in it. Probably not. Oh, that's a shame. I was thinking Enderium turbines for advanced generators. But I'm pretty sure we'll still have some good use for Enderium here. Uses. Resonant upgrade kits. I'd gladly make some of those. Flux capacitors. So yeah, that'll be used a lot for all of the resonant tier of thermodynamics or thermal foundation, it looks like. So that is good, good, good. Happy to have some of that. A lot of the rest of this stuff looks pretty in-gamey. But still, be good to build up a stock of it now. Hydraulic press. Enderium blend. Enderium blend is used in hardened Enderium glass, which can be used for other things, so that's nice. Alright, anyway. I'm babbling, getting lost in my thoughts. I will pause here and we'll come back for a little bit later with some, depending on how much runtime we have, to sort of sum up our trip here and the results. Be right back. Alright, flash update. I made a fluid trash can, put a fluid conduit up against a drain here, and we're going to go, I have all of this, a couple nuggets here, a couple millibuckets there left over from some alloying work I did. So we're just going to go ahead and extract that. And that should clean all that up. Boom. And then we will turn this back to never active. And we have that tucked in the back. That's why I have some extra drains on here that I'll probably won't use for casting tables or whatnot. It's good to have things to pump in and out of your smeltery. And I'm probably going to replace these translocators with something like this, since these keep popping off the drain. Alright, I'm going to get back to it, and I'll be right back. Alright, so another quick update. I made a bunch of reinforcements, and so now my main pickaxe that is going to be a luck or looting or fortune pickaxe, I forget what the exact term is, that one is going to is now unbreakable. My sword is reinforced 4. My Silk Touch pickaxe is still only reinforced 2, so I need to go do some vein mining with it. I turned my sledgehammer, it's up to reinforced 4, so things are going well. I'm going to go ahead, and I have a couple of things that are unbreakable. Now my shovel is unbreakable, so I made a Manulan head for it to speed it up. So we're going to go from mining speed 424 to mining speed 12. So cool. And then my pickaxe here, it's mining speed 4.24. We're going to throw a cobalt head on it and replace the slime head. And it's going to go up to a mining speed 12 from 424 to 12. And I don't have to worry about the fact that it's dropping in durability because it is now unbreakable. And I went ahead and made a cobalt pickaxe for my Silk Touch pickaxe, but I'm going to hold off on putting it in there until I vein mine it a few times and get it up to unbreakable. So that's that, and while I've been working on that, I also went ahead and grabbed a few buckets here and there from our cows. So our molten enderium. And throw those in the drain. And our molten lumium. Throw that in the drain. Ooh, and I've got some new cows or something over in my pasture, so I'm going to go check that out. But we are up to 3 blocks 7 ingots of lumium and 3 blocks 7 ingots of molten enderium, so that's cool. Let's go see what new things we got. Sheep. Don't think I need sheep for anything right at the moment. And I don't think I need any more chickens. Come here, you. What I want is a creosote move fluid cow. I could use some creosote. I'm not familiar with agricraft. I looked into it briefly I was going to grow some wheat. I needed to grow some wheat to make our Ender cake and our Overworld cake. And so I thought, okay, how do I do this? Okay, I got to make these crop sticks. But it turns out the crop sticks are treated wood. And I have not made a thing for that yet. So, okay. Anyway, cool. I'm going to pause again. I think we're we're getting towards the end of this episode, but I'm going to pause again, check the runtime, and I need to, I put some electrotine into the alloy furnace to cook. Yay, we've got electrotine. So now we can make pistons for another couple condensing or compacting drawers. So I'm going to make a compacting drawer for at least NetherEx. It would be nice to have one. We're going to need one for soul sand probably as well. And then I want to sieve some of this stuff. So if I have time, we will at least get started on that before the end of the episode. Be right back. Alright, we are back. We've got another compacting drawer for NetherEx this time. We ended up with a couple thousand NetherEx. I did take some and crush it with the old sledgehammer and put it through the sieves, and we got this. A few of each type of these gemstones, and a lot of stuff we don't have already. We got titanium, mithril, tungsten, cobalt, iridium, ardite. So yeah, a bunch of good stuff there. I think there was something I wanted tungsten for, so that might be a gating item for some machine I was interested in. So I'm happy to have access to that now. Between this episode and next, I will likely go back there and vein mine vast quantities of the nether and come back and sieve NetherEx. It's a little bit slower going because unlike the other stuff, you can take the compressed and downgrade it from cobblestone to gravel to sand to dust, and then uncompress it and then sieve it. But you apparently cannot, or at least there's not a recipe that shows that you can turn compressed NetherEx into compressed crushed NetherEx. So that slows down the conversion process. There's probably some sort of auto hammer or something in this pack that you can make. Something I'm not familiar with. Some sort of machine. Like maybe this. I'm not familiar with embers rekindled at all, so we'll have to look into that and see what I can figure out. But yeah, still not too bad, not too shabby. It's also about time that we start looking into maybe getting some power. Haven't really needed it yet, but we've now sort of got our basics covered here, so it would be nice to start moving on to some more complicated stuff. So I'm going to take a look at that. I have no idea what's good power-wise here. Some of the stuff that I used in Enigmatica isn't necessarily going to be good here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Did get some more vanilla monsters to spawn. Some sheep, some vanilla cows, some vanilla chickens. But I'm sort of keeping my eyes open for more moo fluid cows at this point. And what else? I think that's about it for this episode. Mostly wanted to show you guys my first trip into the Nether, which was a rousing success. Got everything done that we wanted to do. Set up a little pillbox without taking any damage. And then got a bunch of ore. I got to figure out what to do with this ore. So we got this stuff to deal with. I say deal with, but it's actually a good thing. I think the IC NetherEx just works as normal NetherEx, and I think you can crush it and sieve it. Trying to see if there's anything special that I want to do with it. Yeah, maybe I'll hold on to it. You can turn it into blast bricks. I probably should go ahead and make a blast furnace and get some creosote going so I can get some treated wood, so I can make some crop sticks, so I can try agricraft out for the first time. That will be fun. Yeah, so we'll sort of hold on to that for now, I guess. And zirconium dust. We've been getting a few. I did get some zirconium ore pieces by sifting sand. There was some stuff I needed zirconium for, so I was able to make some that way. So we do have some zirconium, but the yield is not ideal. So I've got 26 pieces left. I think I've used up a little bit of it for something or other. So it would be handy to find a better thing than that. I'll have to take a look at the rock crusher and see what kind of... again, I got to check into all of these mods and see what we can make and what we can't make. Ender.io, mechanism, nuclear craft, thermal foundation, industrial foregoing. I just got to figure out what our roadblocks are, and I've already seen that some of the Ender.io stuff doesn't seem too hard to make, so I might need to get into that sooner rather than later. Anyway, I think we've probably surpassed our allotted time for this episode, so I am going to call it. I might make some armor. This stuff makes some armor pieces that are not part of the Armor Plus thing. So they have some decent armor on them. And so, but I might wait and wait for our Witherbone stuff to break before I decide what to do there. I should probably go ahead and make the Armor Plus tech station and start at least assembling things, even if I don't want to wear it and don't want to get it injured because I don't want to have to repair it. I should at least probably make the damn thing and start looking into it. So maybe I'll do that in between episodes too. Alright, I'm babbling at this point. I'm going to sign off. Thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.